I opened my banking app at a red light. Our joint account showed $197. It should have shown $43,000. One withdrawal, one name, his. I called him before the light turned green. Babe, I had to. Mom's in the hospital, stage 4 cancer. She needed a specialist in Houston. Insurance wouldn't cover it. I didn't want to scare you. I felt terrible, guilty for even doubting him. His mother had raised him alone. If she was dying, of course the money didn't matter. 3 days later, she called me. Honey, why did my dental insurance get canceled? I have a cleaning next week. She didn't sound weak. She didn't sound confused. She sounded annoyed. He said she was dying, so why was she calling about a dental cleaning? Before you judge me for what I did next, drop your time zone in the comments and hit that like button. Because if this has ever happened to you, you need to hear how this ends. I had the call log. I had every receipt, and I was done being quiet. Let me back up. We'd been married for 5 years. I worked 2 jobs. Dental hygienist during the week, bookkeeping on weekends. He was a freelance graphic designer, which is a nice way of saying his income was unpredictable. Some months he'd bring in $3,000. Some months $300. I didn't mind. I loved him. And I was good at saving. I grew up on food stamps. My mom taught me to photograph every receipt, every statement, every pay stub. Old habits. When we got engaged, he suggested we open a joint account. So we're a team, he said. Total transparency. I thought it was romantic. I moved my savings in. He contributed when he could. Over 5 years, I built that account to just over $43,000. Emergency fund. Down payment on a house someday. Our future. I kept meticulous records. Every deposit. Every withdrawal. All backed up to a shared drive. Twice. He used to tease me about it. Babe, you don't need to screenshot everything. I'm not the IRS. I'd laugh. But I never stopped. My mom's voice was always in my head. Protect yourself. Always. I thought I was protecting us. Turns out I was protecting me. Because when $43,000 disappeared in one afternoon, I didn't have to wonder where it went. I had proof of where it didn't. I confronted him that night. He was calm. Too calm. Like he'd rehearsed. Mom called me yesterday morning. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. She didn't want anyone to know. You know how private she is. I felt my chest tighten. Why didn't you tell me first? Because you would have wanted a family meeting. She made me promise to keep it quiet. She's embarrassed. He reached for my hand. The specialist in Houston had one opening. They needed a deposit by yesterday. $40,000 up front. Insurance won't touch it until she hits her deductible. I wanted to ask more, but he looked so tired, so scared. I'm sorry I didn't ask, he said. I couldn't let her die because I waited for permission. That hurt. He made it sound like I would have said no. Like I would have let his mother die over money. Which hospital? MD Anderson. She starts treatment Monday. Can I send flowers? Can I visit? He shook his head. She doesn't want visitors. She's really fragile right now. Emotionally. He pulled me into a hug. I hope you trust me enough not to call her. Please. She'll be humiliated if she knows I told you. I nodded. I didn't call her. For 3 days, I didn't call. That was my first mistake. 3 days of silence. I wanted to do something. Arrange meals. Send a care package. But he kept saying she wanted privacy. Then my phone rang. Thursday afternoon. Her name on the screen. I answered. Hey, sweetie. Quick question. Why did my dental insurance get canceled? I got a letter saying I'm no longer covered. Her voice was bright. Strong. Zero confusion. I froze. I'm not sure. Let me check. I've got a cleaning next week. Can you fix it? In the background, I heard him. Who is that? He crossed the room in 2 steps. Grabbed the phone. Wrong number, Mom. Talk soon. He hung up. I stared at him. She doesn't sound sick. It's the medication. She has good days. She asked about dental insurance. She's confused. The cancer's in her pancreas, but the chemo affects her brain. She doesn't remember half of what the doctors told her. He handed my phone back. Please don't call her again. You'll just upset her. I nodded, but my hands were shaking because her voice didn't sound confused. It sounded normal, and my phone had been recording. I'd turned on automatic call recording 6 months ago for work compliance. He didn't know that. The next morning, he left for a client meeting. I waited 5 minutes. Then I called her back. She answered on the second ring. Hey, honey. Did you figure out the insurance thing? Not yet, but can I ask, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm great. Just got back from my book club. We're reading this thriller about a guy who fakes his own death. Wild. I felt my stomach drop. You're feeling okay? Physically? Better than ever, honestly. I had my annual checkup last week. Doctor said my cholesterol is perfect. Why do I sound off? I recorded the entire conversation. 10 minutes and 14 seconds. No slurred speech. No confusion, no pain. She asked about a recipe, complained about her neighbor's loud dog, laughed about a TV show. At the end, I asked one more question. Has anything medical happened recently? Anything serious? Serious? Honey, I'm healthier than I was at 50. Why is he sick? I told her I'd call her back. Then I pulled up the call log. Screenshot, timestamp, duration. Then I checked my texts. She'd sent me a message that same morning. A photo of her garden. Full sun, big smile. No cancer, no hospital, no Houston. If the money didn't go to his mother, where did $43,000 go? I confronted him that night with the recording. I thought he'd break down, apologize, explain. Instead, he exploded. You called my sick mother? You interrogated her? What is wrong with you? She's not sick. She told me herself. She's confused. I told you that. She wasn't confused. She was talking about book club and her cholesterol. He switched tactics. The anger melted. His eyes filled with tears. Okay, fine. You want the truth? I waited. I didn't spend it on Mom. I borrowed it. For a business investment. A partner opportunity. We're going to 10x it in 6 months. I was going to surprise you. Show me the paperwork. It's not finalized yet. Show me the account. The contract, anything. You don't trust me. Show me. He stood up. If you don't trust me, maybe we shouldn't be married. I noticed his wrist. New watch. Silver. Expensive. His jacket. Leather. I'd never seen it before. Where'd you get the watch? It was a gift. From who? A client. Why does it matter? Because $43,000 is missing and you're wearing new things. He grabbed his keys. I'm staying at a friend's tonight. When you're ready to stop being paranoid, call me. He left. I didn't call. I logged into the bank from my laptop. And I downloaded everything. I exported 6 months of transaction history. The $43,000 was gone in 72 hours. $18,000 to a luxury car dealership. Down payment. $12,000 to a jewelry store. I clicked the merchant. High-end engagement rings. $8,000 to a resort. 2 nights. Premium suite. $5,000 in cash withdrawals. 0 medical charges. 0 hospitals. 0 Houston. I cross-referenced the dates. The resort booking was the same weekend he told me he was at a design conference in Austin. I opened his email. We had a shared cloud account. He'd set it to auto-forward years ago and forgot. I found the resort confirmation. Booking for 2. Mr. and Mrs. signed under his name. I checked Instagram. Searched the resort geotag. Scrolled back to that weekend. There. A woman I'd never seen. Holding a champagne glass. Tagged at the same resort. Same dates. Her ring finger was bare in that photo. I went back to the jewelry store charge. Checked the date. 2 weeks after the resort. I pulled up her profile again. New post. Close-up of her hand. New ring. Caption. Forever starts now. I didn't cry. I took screenshots. And then I made a plan. I went deeper. I found an encrypted email folder. The password was our anniversary. Ironic. Inside were 8 months of messages. All to her. Subject line from 3 months ago. Exit timeline. I opened it. Once I liquidate the joint account, we're set. New apartment lease is signed. Car's in my name only. She'll never see it coming. By the time she figures it out, we'll be gone. I scrolled. Another email. A PDF attachment. Lease agreement. Start date. Next month. Another. Car title. His name. Sole owner. Another. Engagement ring receipt. Dated 2 weeks before the $43,000 withdrawal. He'd been planning this for months. The money wasn't for his mother. It wasn't a business investment. It was his exit fund, paid for with my savings. He was going to empty the account, move into a new apartment with another woman, and leave me with nothing. He wrote it in an email. She works 2 jobs. She'll be fine. She always is. I read that line 3 times. Then I closed the laptop. I didn't scream. I didn't post on social media. I didn't tell our friends. I went legal, because now I knew exactly what to do. I took 1 personal day off work. I called a family law attorney. Free consultation. I brought a printed binder, every bank statement, every email, Every receipt, the call recording, the Instagram screenshots. She flipped through it for 10 minutes. Then she looked up. This isn't a divorce case. This is fraud. She walked me through the steps. Freeze the joint account. Open a new solo account at a different bank. File for legal separation. Request an emergency hearing for asset protection. Document everything I hadn't already documented. I did it all in 48 hours. I never told him. I transferred my next paycheck into the new account, a bank he didn't know existed. My attorney filed a motion. Emergency relief for fraudulent dissipation of marital assets. We requested a temporary restraining order on the joint account. No more withdrawals without court approval. She referred me to a forensic accountant. He agreed to testify as an expert witness. I kept going to work. I answered my husband's texts. I stayed calm. He thought I'd given up. He thought I believed the business investment story. He had no idea I was building a case. 2 weeks later, we got a court date. Emergency hearing. 10 days out. I didn't tell him until the sheriff handed him the summons. The hearing was in a small courtroom. Family division. County courthouse. He showed up with an attorney. Cheap retainer. I could tell by the guy's wrinkled suit. My lawyer wore heels that clicked on the tile. She carried 3 binders. The judge sat down. A woman in her 60s. She looked tired. This is an emergency motion for asset protection. Counselor, you have 20 minutes. My attorney stood. Your Honor, this isn't a marital dispute. This is theft. She opened the first binder. Exhibit A bank records. Joint account. $43,240 withdrawn in 72 hours. 0 medical expenses. 0 hospitals. She projected the transactions on a screen. $18,000 to a car dealership. $12,000 to a jewelry store. $8,000 to a luxury resort. $5,000 in cash. The judge looked at him. Exhibit B. Call recording with the defendant's mother, who he claimed was dying of stage 4 cancer. Transcript included. She states she is healthy. No cancer, no treatment. My attorney played 15 seconds of audio. My mother-in-law's voice, clear and strong. I'm healthier than I was at 50. The judge's expression didn't change. But she leaned forward. Exhibit C resort booking confirmation. Same weekend, the defendant claimed he was at a design conference. Booked for 2 guests. She pulled up the Instagram screenshot. Exhibit D email correspondence. Subject line. Exit timeline. The defendant's own words. Quote, she'll never see it coming. My husband's attorney stood. Your Honor, my client maintains this was a business loan to a partner. Where's the documentation? Silence. Where's the contract? The LLC filing? The loan agreement? His attorney shuffled papers. We're still gathering. You have nothing. The judge turned to the forensic accountant. What did your analysis show? 0 business-related expenditures, Your Honor. The transactions match personal purchases. Car registration shows the defendant as sole owner. The jewelry purchase matches an engagement ring posted by a third party on social media 2 weeks later. The judge closed the binder. I'm freezing the joint account pending a full audit. The plaintiff is granted sole access to the marital home. The defendant is prohibited from selling, hiding, or transferring any assets. We'll reconvene in 30 days. Bring your documentation, sir. All of it. She stood. This isn't a marital dispute. This is theft. Gavel down. The aftermath came fast. His girlfriend left him 2 days after the hearing. Turns out she didn't know the money was stolen, or that it was frozen. He moved back in with his mother. The irony wasn't lost on me. The forensic audit took 6 weeks. They recovered $31,000. The rest had been spent. The court ordered him to reimburse me through wage garnishment. 36 months. I filed for divorce. He didn't contest. We settled out of court. I kept the house. He signed the deed over without a fight. I think his attorney told him if it went to trial, it would get worse. It took me 8 months to rebuild my savings. I picked up extra weekend shifts. I canceled subscriptions. I meal prepped. But I got there. I also started something new. A financial literacy blog for women. How to protect your assets. How to spot financial abuse. How to document everything. It's small, but it's growing. I didn't blast him on social media. I didn't tell our mutual friends the details. I let the court record speak for itself. His mother called me a month after the divorce finalized. She apologized. She didn't know what he'd done until the hearing. She sent flowers. We meet for coffee sometimes. She's not responsible for his choices. I set new boundaries for myself. If I ever get into another relationship, we're keeping finances separate. I'll do annual credit checks. I'll keep an emergency account that only I control. You can love someone and still protect yourself. Those aren't opposites. They're both survival. I don't know where he is now. I don't check his social media. I don't ask. I do know his freelance career took a hit. Word spreads in small industries. But that's not my story to tell anymore. My story is this. I trusted my gut. I kept my receipts. I went legal, not loud. And I came out on the other side. So here's my question for you. Would you have confronted him sooner or played it quiet like I did? And should I have told his mother the full truth right away? Or was I right to wait? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this story helped you see red flags in your own life, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more stories like this. And remember, receipts don't lie. People do. Oh, and one last thing. This is a fictionalized dramatization based on real experiences. It's not legal or financial advice. If you're in a situation like this, talk to a licensed attorney in your area. Protect yourself. Always. Thanks for watching.